All right, it's another lovely day, and you're right here tuned to the podcast, Truth to Power, a program where we explore happenings in and around minority groups in Nigeria. And when we talk about minority groups, we are looking at minority groups in the Middle Belt and also Northern region of Nigeria. My name is Ehis Agbon. Today on the program, we shall be looking at a whole lot of things because I have a reverend gentleman with us in the studio. And apart from the fact that he's a reverend gentleman, he's one that's extremely close to the community, to the grassroots. And some people would say the militant preacher man. He's with us in the studio. He is Reverend David Ayuba Azzaman, also known as Azzaman. You're welcome to Truth to Power.
Thank you so much, Ehis.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this program, today, we shall be looking at the nature of persecution facing some of the persons in these minority groups in northern Nigeria, how it impacts on their lives, and of course, generally, what are the things that we should, or they need to put in place to be able to withstand all of this persecution. But first, I'd like to find out from Reverend Azzaman.
Thank you, sir.
By your estimation, do you believe that there is persecution going on in Nigeria and northern and middle belt Nigeria?
Yes, there is persecution going on. In fact, I call it genocide. Genocide. Not only when you say persecution, it's persecution could be maybe no loss of life, but genocide is a more proper term to call what is happening in northern Nigeria in the middle belt.
So this genocide that you're talking about,
yes, sir.
What is their nature? Is it religious or tribal in nature?
You see, the genocide, let me say, is a twofold. When we say northern Nigeria, and we say a minority, yeah, that is the middle belt. But you see, the problem also, it involves the Hausas. The Hausas are also being killed. Let's be fair to them. If you go to Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, northern part of Kaduna, like Birnin-Gwari, you see that the Hausas are being also killed. Yeah. Okay. In that part of Nigeria, northern Nigeria, I will call it tribal.
Okay.
Because the people perpetuating this, sorry, I have no option because I must mention their tribe. Because most of the people belong to these Fulani ethnic groups.
Okay.
They are the ones doing this killing. Because if you look at it, it is the Hausas in the north that are affected. I will call that tribal because Muslims, Hausas are being killed, and some Christian Hausas too are being killed. If you go to the middle belt, okay, I will call it genocide. Because why? It is religion. Because churches are burned, and we had that anytime they are killing, maiming people, they shout Allahu Akbar. So you can see it has a tribal and a religious dimension to it.
Now, for those that are not very familiar with the geographical configuration called Nigeria, can you describe to them what we call the middle belt? What constitutes the middle belt of Nigeria?
All right. The middle belt of Nigeria is not central geopolitical zone. Some people, when they hear middle belt, they think it's not central geopolitical zone. North Central was created by General Sani Abacha. The middle belt of Nigeria is the center of Nigeria. And if you look at the center of Nigeria, even Kaduna is middle belt. Kaduna is middle belt. That is why you hear Southern Kaduna people, they call themselves middle belt. Yeah. You go to Southern Bauchi, Southern Gombe, Southern Borno, even Southern Kebbi. These are all middle belts of Nigeria. So it's the center of Nigeria, not central, as people might think. So middle belt is the center of Nigeria. That is at the core, the center, then the south. And let me just say, it's a kind of a natural thing that nobody can explain it, but like God made it so. because the ethnic groups that are not Hausa Fulani, they are the ones in this axis of the north, of this part of Nigeria, and they share the same culture. They share. Most of them are Christians, even though we have some Muslims among them. There is this culture before Nigeria, the Kwararafa, and also the Nok Terracotta.
Yeah.
You find there are people of this culture. There are people. These are the people indeed. These are the middle belt of Nigeria. And the middle belt agitation started even before the independence of Nigeria, because there was a commission. They call it the Willings Commission, where people like Governor Awan, the former chief of Kagoro, Joseph Tarka, these are the people that came together, and they sent like an appeal or a petition or a request to the colonial masters that before you form the country, before you give us our independence, let the northern minority tribes also have their independence from the majority Hausa tribe. Yes. Yeah. So there was a commission like that, and I wasn't born then, but we read history, and I learned that that request was granted, but the government then, ururu, so it didn't come to be. Yes.
So in essence, there is something binding all of the ethnic subsect and nations that make up the middle belt, all the way coming from the Taraba axis. Maybe some pockets of tribes in Maiduguri, Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe,
even Yobe, southern part of Yobe,
Plateau, then Kaduna, then pockets in Niger, going towards Kwara. Wow.
Kogi and the rest.
Yeah. Now, for those that do not know Nigeria, with these explanations that we've just made, I know you have an idea, you have a graphic image of what the Middle Belt represents.
Yes, sir.
And apart from their geophysical location now, you've also heard that most of them are predominantly not Muslim. They are predominantly Christians, and some of them are tribal worshippers. And before the colonial era, they had something binding them that's kind of related to the Kwararafa and the Nok Terracotta history. Now, in the present day Nigeria, 21st century Nigeria, in this millennium, we've had so many crises and conflict between people that are from the Hausa Fulani ethnic nationality, though these days the Hausa man said he does not want to be lumped the Hausa or the Fulani ethnic nationality, and they've been having crisis with persons from the Middle Belt. Also in Nigeria, broadly Nigeria is divided into two before the 6 geopolitical lines were made by Abacha, the north and the south, the 19 northern states and the 17 southern states that made up Nigeria. Before now, the average person from the south believes that anybody in the north is Hausa, Fulani, and Muslim. But with what has been happening, even in the north now, there are more awareness is being created, and people are beginning to understand the differences between these groups. Now, the major issue is why this conflict and crisis happening now? Before now, it wasn't like this. Why now? Is it because there is a need to push to achieve something? What could that be? That's why some people want to believe that there are also political undertones to all of this. But let's leave that for another day's discussion and concentrate on this. Looking at the persecution that's been happening, and also saying that the Middle Belt, as it were, it's a large segment or a large chunk of the geographical configuration called Nigeria. How is it that this conflict or this persecution is ongoing and the persons cannot stand? You know why I'm saying this? If pre-colonial era, the persons from these regions were able to withstand and not be totally subsumed and dominated by the invaders from Futajalon, why now? What exactly is happening? Why is the Middle Belt not strong or united enough to be able to stand up and not necessarily pick up arms and fight, but speak with one strong, solid voice? That's on one hand. And what is the church doing about this? Because whether we like it or not, it affects the church.
It does.
Yes.
All right. I mentioned travel and religious dimension.
Yes.
And thank God you mentioned people from the Futa Jalon. I'm not being stereotyped to the Fulanis. No, I love the Fulanis, but I love to say things as it is. You see, what is happening in Nigeria, even though you said before the colonial, it was not happening.
Yeah.
It was happening. But it's just that the colonialism brought it to a halt. But it was happening. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it was happening.
Okay.
It started in 1804. That is the Fulani jihad against the Hausas. It started. And 1804, they were able to conquer the north part of Nigeria. And they could not advance to the Middle Belt. They stopped at Ilori, Kwara. They couldn't advance. They could not advance Southern Kaduna, Jos, Benue. In fact, many people don't know that the architect of that Usman Danfodio jihad was shot in Benue by the Tiv people. He was shot. Yeah, he was shot by the Tiv people in Benue, and he had to go back to Sokoto. 5 days after he reached Sokoto, he died. His own son, Muhammad Bello, took over the jihad flag. So in the course of the jihad, I think after they conquered Ilori, that was when they met the British. So the British are now halted them. And we are made to believe that there was an agreement. There was an agreement with the British that when you are going, okay, hand over whatever in Nigeria to us. And some people will tell you that the real handover was in Sokoto, not in Tafa Balewa Square in Lagos. In 1990, during the independence, that was the real handover. A flag was exchanged. That was a daba in Sokoto then. So you could see at that time we are lumped as northern Nigeria, and that is why people like Gomna Awan, Joseph Tarka, they saw the sign that this thing, let's give us our own identity.
Yeah.
So that an average person in the south will think the whole north is a Muslim and they are Hausa. Fulani. See, even the British thought they are dealing with the Hausas. Yeah, the colonial masters, they thought they are dealing with the Hausas. They know they are dealing with the Fulanis. Because a Fulani man has something that is called the Polaku. It's a moral code of the Fulani, yes. That is why you hear someone like Agbola Gambari, where he doesn't stop identifying with the Fulanis. The Fulani, the Yoruba speaking Fulani, they are still Fulanis.
Okay.
So anywhere they go, former President Buhari cannot speak Fulani.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Wow. How is your patron?
You cannot speak. You cannot speak. That's the Polaku. You don't need to speak Fulani.
Once the blood is the blood
there, and you do the Fulani agenda. So it's an agenda. Anywhere they go, they don't forget their identity. They don't forget their identity. So that is why you could see, Yakubu Gowon came. He left, and it continued now. That's why you could see the attack is more on the Middle Belt, where they were halted. Because if you in 1960, Ahmadu Bello said Nigeria is like a trophy of their forefather. They should the northern minority use them like the willing tool. The South conquered territory. Yes, can you see that? So he promised, you can quote me anywhere, he promised they would dip the flag of jihad at the Atlantic Ocean. You get it?
Yeah,
so
they were overall.
Yes. So the Middle Belt is like a buffer.
Yeah.
So that's why I can say they attack. They have to penetrate down, but if they can't. It's so unfortunate that when Buhari came to power, about 38,872 people were killed. When Buhari came in 2015, and when Buhari left, about 93,800 were massacred in northern Nigeria. About 66,101 more people were killed in 8 years of Buhari. Can you see that? And even in the 1 month of Tinubu, about 270 something were killed. Just 1 month of Tinubu's government. Yeah. So it's a serious thing. And Jorasani Abacha said something. When a crisis lasts more than a month or so, government are involved in it. Yes, government are involved in it. Why should El-Rufai say he paid these people to stop killing? I mean, you know them. Remember the former governor of Kaduna? He said they paid these Fulanis. Instead of arresting them, you pay them. Is that done anywhere? It's not done. I mean, the government knows about them. They know about them. That is why it's continuous. And most of them, I've never had that one Fulani jihadist is arrested. But you will hear people that want to defend themselves that have been arrested. You see, you mentioned why is the church not talking? Fear of arrest.
Okay.
Yes, former CBN governor, late Obadiah Melafia, they came for him to arrest him. They came for him. So people are afraid to talk. Instead of them to go after the aggressors, they are going after the victims. Can you see that? Go after the aggressors. No, you are going after the victims. You see, the truth is that I will say it without fear. If the government cannot provide security, the people should provide security for themselves. That is the truth. I'm not saying you should go and attack
anybody, but defend yourself.
But defend yourself.
Yeah.
You see, the government are telling international community that is farmers herders clash. That is what they're telling the community. That is farmers, but it's not farmer herders clash. If you live around Sabo, like 2 years ago, almost 2021, almost every night they will come and kidnap somebody. Do we have farmers in Sabo Tasha?
No.
They are not final farmers. You'll be hearing gunshot. I live in Sabo, as if it's behind my window. Near my house, they have kidnapped people. Not up to 1,000 meters from my house. They came for a man and they couldn't meet him. They burned his house. They come to that extent. You tell me it's farmers at that class. It is not. And let me tell you what happened. Why I say we need to defend ourselves. The Sabo youths then, because the thing was like every week.
Yeah.
Every week they come. What did they do? Sticks. Not guns, sticks. Because we don't have the guns. Who has 700,000 to buy AK-47? Who has it? But you see them, they even have more weapons than the military, than the Nigerian armed forces. So just sticks. They remove fear with torchlight. I was hearing them when you hear Sabo boys will say Kariane in Hausa means na lie.
Okay.
That is why they chased them to the bush and they went back. Up to now we have not had. Maybe they thought the Sabo boys too had guns. You see, what is holding Aso Rock is guns. That's why what is holding Tinubu is guns. That's why they say the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces is guns. If you don't arm yourself, somebody will just come and kill you like a chicken. I'm not inciting people to go and attack. No, I'm a pastor. I won't do that. But when you come, I'll defend myself. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. When somebody comes to kill me and I say, no, I will not die. I should kill you first before you can touch me.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
The program is Truth to Power, and it's one program where we are looking about persecuted minority groups in Nigeria and the Middle Belt and seeing how we can tell their stories to the world and also see how we can encourage them to stand firm in faith and defend themselves in faith. And on the program today, I have Reverend Azzaman David Ayuba Azzaman, yes. Reverend David Ayuba Azzaman as my guest. And this is also to let you know that this program is proudly supported by Truth Nigeria. Truth Nigeria is a media organization that is telling the true story about Nigeria to the world. Coming back to the program and looking at all of this now, with this graphic explanation that you've given, understanding of what the true situation is in northern Nigeria. Now, how do you think that we can overcome this without necessarily picking up the arms on one hand? Then secondly, what kind of mobilization do you think people of faith, Christians need to do, or minority groups need to do, or even Islamic groups need to do to stop all of this?
All right, I spoke more of the armed side. It is even more than that. It is even more than that. If you come to my state, Kaduna, I mentioned genocide. We have the aspect of persecution. Let me take, for instance, Kaduna State University. Kaduna is a state where, according to 2006 census, the population is about 50-50. We had a Fulani governor before, Nasru El-Rufai. It has never happened like that before, even though I said that this thing has been on, but Nasru El-Rufai was glaring. You can't imagine a school like KASU, Kaduna State University, from the chancellor, pro-chancellor, VC, deputy VC, security, bossa, what have you. They are all people of the same faith. They are all people of the same faith. Just like you have in the government, the governor, the deputy governor, SSG, all people of the same faith. And in a state like Kaduna is a mini Nigeria. You get it? That is it, the persecution. And you just ask, what should be done?
Yeah.
Let's reset this country. When I say reset, I mean like restructure. When I say restructure, I mean let's overhaul. Yeah, let's overhaul the whole country. That is the only way.
Okay.
Let's overhaul Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Overhaul Nigeria. It's not very, very explicit because it's not something that is it that we'll go look for soap and wash Nigeria, or
we need
what
to,
kind of overhaul?
Nigeria is not a machine, it's human beings.
Yeah.
Let's sit down. Let's discuss how do we live together. If they want to do total Islamic law in Kaduna, okay, give certain Kaduna their state.
Okay.
Yes, give us our state. Do your Sharia, whatever. You get it?
Okay.
What they want, give it to them. Since it's the government that is promoting it. But you say you cannot force us into this. In Kaduna, a Christian will be qualified. The former governor, a Christian will be qualified. But he preferred to go and pick a Muslim in another state than to give a Christian from Kaduna.
Wow.
Yes.
Isn't that bad?
It's that bad. He prefers to go. If you come to Kaduna State, most of the government officials are not from Kaduna State. Even if you have a Christian that is qualified, he will not do that. He will go to another state and pick a Muslim. So the country have to be. When I mean overhaul, you see, I'm a northerner, but I'm a supporter of resource control. If you want to do your Sharia, go and produce whatever resources and finance your Sharia. Give the Niger Delta their oil. Let's structure the country. Make sure that whatever you want, make sure that you finance it what you have in your state. I'm not after secession. No. Nigeria to me will never divide. Okay. God brought us together as one. I don't support people that are saying Nigeria is a mistake. Nigeria is not a mistake.
Okay.
Yes, Nigeria is not a mistake. God brought us together. We are the ones that we didn't ask God for the wisdom. Imagine, I'm not in any way insulting the former governor, but this is a person that I had, he has about 15 degrees, but no wisdom. I say it and I said everywhere. Nasru El-Rufai lacks wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom is different.
Yeah.
It's different. So we need to sit down, use our God's given wisdom. How do we run this country? The presidential system, we borrowed it from the Americans. If it's not working, let's bring our own type of democracy.
Okay, let's develop our own homegrown, unique democracy. Okay.
Unique to us. Yes, sir.
Well, you are still watching and listening to the podcast Truth to Power. And today's program, I must say, is one that is heavily loaded and heavily packed, despite the fact that we are touching on sensitive topics, but we are doing it in such a way that we are speaking truth to power and everybody is getting a fair sense of understanding in respect of what we are talking about. In a short while from now, we'll be wrapping up this program. We'll be wrapping up this edition of this program, but there's something very important that I want us to look at, which has to do with the persecuted minority groups. What has the government done and what should the government do to ensure that whatever that has been suffered by these groups is reversed or is mitigated?
Okay. I was saying the other time, I don't like I don't like the process that brought in Tinubu. But to be fair to him, to some extent, he has done well in terms of what we, the northern minorities, saw from the last government.
Okay.
To Muhammadu Buhari, he has done well. You could see, in fact, even the northern the northern Christians came out and said he is fair to the northern Christians. That is how he's supposed to be. Unlike the former government that completely sidelined us. In fact, yesterday, a pastor called me from Borno, Reverend Kalamu. He's a Kanuri pastor. Yes, he called me. He said the people of Goza, majority of them are Christians, northern Christians. They have gone to Cameroon, the IDP camp in Cameroon. But the government now Nigerian government went to Cameroon and brought the Muslims back, and they still left the Christians there. And I told him, let me have some picture evidence. He said he will do that. In fact, he's about to write something on that. So you can see, that is the last government. And if this government are hearing me, they need to do something and bring the Christian refugees from Cameroon back to Goza and Nigeria in Borno State. You can see. So, you see, the government, we are part of the North, we are part of Nigeria. You need to involve us in governance. Ehis, I'm not saying this because you are from the South, but believe me, I say it everywhere. I prefer when Southern Nigerians rule. I prefer when Southerners rule, because I have seen the government of Olusegun Obasanjo. In fact, Olusegun Obasanjo, Matu Hassan Kuka had to ask him, do you know that Martin Agway, do you know that later Luka Yusuf are from the same Southern Kaduna? Obasanjo said, I don't know. They married it, I'm after married.
Wow.
Can you see that? That is Southerners. They go for merit. But it seems the Northerners, your merit is Islam. If you are a Muslim, you are qualified.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. See, I'm not stereotyping them, but you say true to governance. That's how I'm saying how it is. Look at even Tinubu now. They are saying what they plan with him. That's not what they are having. They are having.
It is what it is. That's what I always say. Speaking truth to power.
Yes,
I want to sincerely appreciate you, Reverend, for having time to be on Truth to Power today.
Thank you.
And on the next edition of the program, I'm sure we'll be seeing some other new angles to these issues and situations in respect of persecution of minority groups in Nigeria. Until next time when we'll be on again, I want to first of all appreciate the folks at Truth Nigeria, the website where you can get everything about Nigeria told to you the way it should be. And the website is www.truthnigeria.com. My name is Ehis Agbon. My guest today has been Reverend David Ayuba Azzaman.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.